Happy Monday, ladies. Happy Monday. Welcome to another live chat with the Official Wife Tribe. My name is Wife Coach Era. I'm the founder of the Official Wife Tribe. So I come in every Monday, guys, to motivate you, to encourage you, to inspire you in your journey, in your marriage. So lately, I hope I have been encouraging you to stay the course and just to do the things that God has called us to do. So I am excited about this topic today. I won't be before you long, but because of Love Day is coming up tomorrow, guys. Love Day is coming up tomorrow. And to the world, it's very important to people. To some people, not so much. But I definitely wanted to touch on it. I had a couple other topics, but I'm like, no, it's Love Day tomorrow. We have to talk about it. And so I just want to say happy Love Day to everybody before I get started. And, love on your spouses, love on your family. And of course, always love on yourself. So as we know, Love Day is every day. All right. We don't need a specific day to people to tell us to love on people, show our appreciation and love for people, but it is celebrated tomorrow nationally, internationally. I don't know. But definitely, take out the time to show the love to the people around you. Okay. And so I'm excited to talk about this topic. You know why? Because this is something that I have personally experienced, and I know it's going to help so many women on their journey. So definitely go ahead and share this live chat. Invite some ladies inside of the group. It's going to be on YouTube too, as well. So you can always go back to the Official Wife Tribe YouTube page and check out all the videos there. Okay. All right. I'm ready to go ahead and get started. So we're going to be talking about tonight being found is spiritual. Okay, it's spiritual. I don't think people really understand that. It's spiritual. Why am I still single? And I've had this conversation some years ago when I first wrote my book, Daily Devotions of Survival. And I'm going to tap into that today a little bit because I'm going to be talking about soul ties. And part of the reason why we are having issues as women being found, that we're not really understanding what's going on. We think that it's about how we're looking. We're going to extreme measures to be found by changing our appearance, changing our hair color, working out at the gym, going and get alters for our bodies. Women are getting breasts, women are getting butt jobs, women are getting liposuction. We're doing different things to make sure that we are found by a husband, but not even really understanding the real reason why we cannot be found. All right. And as women of God, that shouldn't be something that we should be concerned about anyway, as far as like trying to alter our physical appearance. But that is a woman thing that a lot of women deal with. Let's just keep it real. A lot of women have insecurities, so women do go through um, pretty deep measures to to try to change their appearance because they feel like that is part of the reason why they haven't been found, or they just have their own insecurities and they just want to feel better about themselves. So I just want to talk about how marriage is spiritual. So no matter what you do on the outside, all right, if you don't fix what's going on spiritually in your life, your spirit man, and you don't deal with your issues inside of you, you're still not going to be found by your spouse. Okay. So let's just jump right into it. I had seen a video that kind of recently that kind of reminded me of what I kind of talked about in my book. And it was about Juanita Bynum. She was a pastor, or she probably still is a pastor right now. She was talking about the issues that she went through. Our issues was kind of similar. She was trying to be found by her spouse, but she was having some issues. She was wondering why that wasn't happening. She was single for years, and she was wondering why she haven't found her spouse. And so I want to just kind of jump right into it and just tell you the reasons why you haven't found your spouse. For some women, not all. I'm talking to those women. I'm not talking about the women who feel like they have it all together. I am not talking about those women who just feel like they're just so spiritually found. I'm not talking to y'all. I'm talking for the women who don't truly have an understanding of what they need to do in order to truly be found. They have some women who feel like they got it together, they know what they need to do, but they're still in their waiting season. That's fine. That's fine. And they're not fornicating. Okay. They're not fornicating at all. These are, I'm not talking to y'all. I'm talking about the woman who's still struggling in those areas. So one thing that we have to discuss is women who's already been divorced. All right, let's just talk about that. Let's just keep it real. So if you already been married and you've been divorced before, and you are now desiring to get married, remarried, you have to deal with that in the spiritual realm, because what was your reasons for getting divorced the first time, and then we have to go ahead and address that. We have to address, okay, why did I get divorced? Was that something that God was pleased with? Of course, we know he's not pleased with divorce, but it is certain things inside the Bible that God does speak about that give you I don't it give you a reason, or it's okay to get divorced. And one of them is, let's just say if your partner cheats on you, you can leave for that reason. Some people don't, but in the Bible do state that you can walk away from a marriage if they committed infidelity, because that's what we're going to be talking about. Because once you sleep with a person, you are now you are married to that person. So if a person created if they decided to go and sleep with somebody else inside the marriage, they're now married to the person that they just slept with. All right. And then of course, if your partner is unsaved and they decide to leave you because you are saved, and they just decide to walk away from you, and you couldn't save the marriage because they walked away and they left you, and you didn't have a choice but to leave because they refused to be with you. All right. And if you're in those particular situations, fine. You know what I'm saying? God knows those particular situations. But, any other situation, you really have to just, cry out to God and ask God for guidance on what you need to do if you are divorced. All right. And you have to denounce that first person that you have slept with, like your first spouse. You want to be in the clear, you want to be able to be found, and you cannot be found because you're still spiritually attached to the man that you were before. That goes with fornication. If you're out here fornicating and you're sleeping with different men, or maybe you're not sleeping with anybody else anymore, but you have had previous sexual relationships with multiple people, you have to go back and you have to definitely denounce every sexual partner that you have had, because the reason why you can't be found, because you're still married, because marriage is spiritual. So the spiritual man cannot see you, because in the spirit you're married, you're not single. I don't know if you get that. He can't see you because you're still attached. You're still sexually attached. When you are having sex, you are married to that person. And if you had um multiple partners and you have not prayed to God, you have not denounced, you haven't detached those sexual soul ties, then you are still married in the spirit realm. And that's why your godly husband cannot find you, because he only can see what's available. All right. I hope you understand that. All right. When you are committing fornication, you are married so many times. Let's just say you had 5 sexual partners. So you have 5 husbands. You have 10 sexual partners. You have 10 husbands. And even if you had a life where you were a lesbian in your previous life, that don't mean nothing. That means that you tied to them too. And I don't even want to get too much into that, because that's a whole nother ballgame. But you need to denounce all those sexual relationships that you have had before. All right. It steps to this, okay? It steps to this. And that's why I feel like some women are still single. That was in my particular situation. I wrote about it in my book. It's chapter, let me see here, 22, that talk about soul ties. I was like wondering what was going on, and I had to understand that according to the realm of the spirit, I was married. I was still married to whoever. You can have sex with a person, you can forget about it. Years pass, I'm like, I don't even remember. Or, it's just been so long ago, but you're not understanding that even if you haven't touched that person in 10, 15 years, you're still spiritually attached to that person. And you wonder why your husband can't find you, because you're still spiritually married. All right. Do y'all get that? I want to make sure that you guys are getting that, because that is the key. That is the key. That is one of the keys. And until I understood that in my own personal life, I was not in the position to be able to be found by my husband until I did that. Y'all, it wasn't until I did that. I'm not saying he came right after that, but once I have an understanding, once God spoke to me and told me that's exactly what I needed to do, thank God that he spoke to me and that I was willing to listen. And that's another thing, these things can't take place in your life until that you really have a connection with God and you really true have a relationship. Because if you're not even in a place to hear the things that he's trying to tell you and guide you in your life, so the things that you need to do in order to move forward in your life, if you're not in a position to hear, then you're going to miss it. Because if I wasn't in position to hear where I was, if I wasn't a willing vessel, like if I wasn't a willing participant when he was speaking to me in that moment, at that time in my life, I would have missed it. I would have missed it. And also, too, I want to say that I had to have on spiritual armor after the fact in order to see my husband and recognize who he was. Because if I had on my physical eyes, all right, if I was just looking with my physical eyes in my regular minds at that time when my husband appeared, I wouldn't have, he wouldn't have been my husband. I'm just gonna tell you now. He wouldn't have been it, because if I was just looking with my own eyes and my own vision, okay, my own vision, my own eyes, and the things that I wanted to see, I wouldn't have, it wouldn't have happened. But because I had on my spiritual eyes at the time, I was in a place where I was listening to God. I was in a place where I was open. I was in a place where I was um I was receiving what he was saying. I was continually having a conversation with God. I was continually praying. I was continually open. I was continually seeking. And because of that, the Spirit of God was in me. So when he appeared, I was able to recognize him. Because if I was just my regular self, my regular era self, oh my gosh, I would have passed him up, y'all. I'm telling you the truth. I know myself so well. I know myself so well. So I want to go ahead and read this part of my book. It's chapter 22, like I said. And it's really short because this is just a 30-day devotional. All right. 30-day devotional is 30-day devotional, a journey to a closer relationship with God. And so I'm just going to read this excerpt for you. I said, I allow myself to be treated in a way that would have changed the trajectory of my life if I continued down that path. After several years of losing myself, God spoke to me and reminded me who I was. I was a wife, not a toy to be played with and put aside. All right. I was his daughter. My body was a temple for him to dwell, not the spirits of the soul tie. I had to become one with so many spirits because I became one with him. I fasted and I prayed day and night, asking God to remove the desire to be one with him. All right. I also cast out every spirit that I ever encountered with, I, every spirit I had encountered with sexually. All right. I was brand new. I no longer desired fornication. I gave my body over to God. I know God was watching over me. Do you have an ungodly soul tie? If you do, pray this prayer. And then I go and I pray the prayer. I'm not going to pray the prayer right now. You got to get the book to pray the prayer. All right. You got to get the book to pray the prayer. I'm telling you what worked for me. And I know it will work for you. I had to go back and I had to denounce. I had to take a piece of paper, y'all. How many minutes? I'm 13 minutes in. I had to take a piece of paper, literally. And I don't care. And I'm not ashamed about it either. I had to take a piece of paper. Who cares? That's my life. That's my story. And I had to write down every name. I had to sit back and I had to think, y'all. I had to sit back and I had to think about everything. I had to go back and I had to be like, okay, this person, this. Okay, I had to write their names down. And one by one, I went to God. First, I went to God apologetic for my sins and for the things that I've done. And I had to denounce the spirit out of me so I could no longer be attached to them in the spirit realm, because they were my spouse at that time, even though I wasn't even with them. I wasn't talking to them. I didn't have no more relationship with them, won't talk to them, anything like that. But but I was still spiritually connected. In the day I'm telling you, I'm telling you, the day I did this, my life changed. The day I did that, my life changed. And literally, not too long after that, I met my husband. I'm not saying that it's going to be exactly like that for you, but I'm telling you, that's what you need to do. And it's so crazy how I seen that video and it reminded me what I wrote about in my book because people don't think it's true or they just have to hear it from certain people. I don't know what it is. But like I said, being found is spiritual. And the reason why you haven't found your spouse is because you are still married to so many people in the spirit. You married to Tom, John, and Harry, and you know else. You know who else. You know who you married to. You need to denounce those spirits. You need to come clean. You need to apologize. You need to ask God for forgiveness so you can be clean. And so the man of God in his spirit can find your spirit, and your spirit is ready to receive his. You guys are ready to connect and to become one because you already know what marriage is about. We talked about that, what purpose it have. But if you tied up, you know what I'm saying, you tied up in the spirit with so many other people. In the physical, you're miserable. In the physical, you're lonely. In the physical, you don't have nothing going on. But in the spiritual realm, he can't find you. Your life is cluttered. And so declutter your life spiritually so you can be found in the physical world. All right. And so I just want to encourage you. You know, I know it's going to be another year that you're going to be by yourself on this love day. I want you to take the time out to work on that on tomorrow, on love day. Go to God and talk to God about the things that you need to change in your life and the things that you need to denounce in your life and the things that you need to ask for forgiveness for and the things that you need to come clean about and ask God to allow you to be found in the spirit realm by the man of God that he has for you. All right, the book is called Daily Devotions of Survival, 30 day journey to a closer relationship with God. Soul Ties is chapter 22. It's short, but it's straight to the point and it's really good. And the prayer is awesome. This is the prayer that I prayed and I told you what I did. And even on the other end of the book, the other page of the book, if you can see it, you can actually write down the things right here on this page. You can actually write down the people and the things that I was telling you that you need to denounce in your life. And even if those are lesbian relationships, it doesn't matter. You need to denounce those too. So it's not just sex with men, it's sex, period. Um, Not just intercourse either. Um, the other type of sex too. You know what she was doing, so you need to go ahead and just denounce all of that and come clean, and so you can be found in this year, so you can be found. And I do believe, and I know for absolute fact because it happened to me that it can happen for you. So, guys, I hope you were motivated. I hope I encouraged you today with this live chat. Please, if you can, go and get this book. This book will change your life. I'm telling you. It's available on Amazon. It's available on my website, theofficialwifetribe.com. If you want to reach out to me directly, you know where I'm at, the official wife tribe. Go ahead and submit a request for me to contact you. And I will see you on next Monday, ladies. Be blessed and have a blessed and a happy, whether you single, married, or whatever, have an amazing love day, guys. All right, next time.